Yeah, I can change it. I don't know what the best lighting is. So let's say sick nasty. No. So I think ideally, I don't know actually. Um, I'm gonna try and move these around. I think I might need to like mount them as well. I don't know if they would look good like over here at all. I think this one needs to be more visible here. That looks kind of gay. What if I bring this here? Maybe shine it like that. Does that look any better? No, because you can see the light, obviously. Yeah, a Discord call would be fine. Do you still have the same Discord? Or actually, I don't know if I have your Discord. Like, does one color look weird? Like, I don't think this looks bad. I think this might be too orange, like on me. But I think I can also change that on my Logitech app. I mean, I don't think that's too bad. I was gonna join a space before I had to go because Jim set something up. Also, these fucking losers. Unlike that Wojak. I don't know. Did you? Oh, I didn't even get a notification.
Is it working?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay, okay. Should I share my camera or do you just want to look at it on screen?
I'm watching on screen, whichever one is best for you. I think it's kind of slow though.
Yeah, it's probably lagging behind a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the lights because I feel like this doesn't look bad, but I also don't think the red on red looks bad. It just kind of looks a little, I don't know.
Yeah, it feels very giving angry. I wasn't for sure if you were like trying to figure out the lights or where you wanted to place them.
I guess both.
Um, I guess if you had the time, you could mount it more like higher on the wall, maybe like on the sides, um, where
True.
it kind of lights up more of the top back of your head, the like ab above the back of your head.
There, give me 1 second.
The what?
I don't know if this would help at all. I'm gonna hide it with the pillow. But actually, hold on.
I guess that's a little bit better. Where it would be better, I guess, off the floor, so that's progress.
What'd you say?
Um, I was saying that as long as it's like off the floor, maybe more of where the light is coming from, either the middle or like the top down, I think that'll look better. In terms of lights, yeah, the red feels very aggressive. If you wanted to do like the blue and what are your other options?
The whole spectrum.
Mm, Hmm. Um, yeah, I guess like a blue and a green, if that's something that you wanted to go for, or like a blue and a pink.
It'd be funny if I could like somehow code it to my voice to whenever I'm raising it. It gets
Yeah,
red.
yeah, kind of like Hades.
Yeah.
Hmm, I do like that. The green, especially.
What'd you say?
I said I do like the green, especially. Um, it's definitely not as powerful as the red, but that might be a good thing. I'm not an artist. Santa!
So I think I want. Hmm, I think I want to avoid cool colors on my left side because I think it
Mm,
muddies out that shelf too much.
mm. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Hmm. So if I do, hmm, I don't like the yellow. It just looks normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have
I
this
guess.
light up here. I think that
Mm,
I'm trying to tilt it back against the wall, so it's reflecting off of it and it's not so harsh.
Mm. I
Because
guess
like in
maybe a red and blue, like red on the left, blue on the right. Green is giving Christmas. Them's Christmas colors.
we need Thanksgiving. Wait, which one did you say? Red on the right or
Uh, like red on the left, blue on the right, like a deep blue, not like a bright blue. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, I have the brightness option, I forgot.
Mhm.
Hmm. I'm gonna turn
Yeah,
this
I
light.
like the intense blue on the right
Give me
with
1 second.
like the red on the left and like a middle ground.
I think my problem, not with the light necessarily, but with the right light, is that scratching mat.
Mm, I'm assuming that's what's stuck to the wall, the rectangle.
Mm. Mm. I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wait.
That's what Jessa does. She'll go, hmm. Yeah, there we go. Good spot.
Mm. Hold on. Okay. Does that look better?
A whole lot better.
Do you think the light here is fine on the left, or should I? Because what I did with the blue is I flipped it on its side.
Hmm. Well,
Because I feel like it doesn't look bad, like right now.
I feel the same way. Um, like there isn't a lot of, I mean, it's not like a wall, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's okay as it is. It leaves a mystery.
Whoa. I like how flat that is on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Kyle. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm the police, bitch. This is the last face you see before you die. Before I Epstein your ass. Hmm.
I feel the same way too when I'm driving and I've got like really loud rap music playing and there's like police sirens in the background. And then I get really paranoid and then I have to turn it down to make sure there isn't actual cops behind me.
Okay. I was supposed to be debating this Christian guy.
Ooh.
His
Is
X space is hashtag Kamala Harris black supporter or dumbest voting block, hashtag Trump, hashtag FBA.
oh, that's a lot.
Behaves. Um
Well, I hope I have done my duties.
I believe you have. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. I will let you go if you need any assistance or whatever, or you just want to chat, just text me.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll probably stream a little bit longer. I
I
guess depending on how this goes. So if you just want to hang out, if you feel free to. I'm gonna jump into that space and see if he has anything to say.
for sure. Yep. Later.
All right. Yep. I'll see you later. Give me 1 second. I had to change my shirt so I don't look like a doofus with a stain on my other one.
Nah, because we got a whole lot of disgusting people that never use water. You just use tissue
Well,
paper and they have
first,
tiny
well,
particles of shit hanging on the end. Of shit
well,
is
first,
disgusting, bro.
I usually take a shower after I do that.
Okay,
Yeah, I hop in the shower.
okay, that is definitely fair.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is the way to go, though.
yeah. Like,
Nothing else.
but hey, Gather, we're talking about Kamala Harris supporters and this other thing. But yeah, so paid in full.
I made $30,000 to Donald Trump.
So, like, who do you take more seriously? Who would you take more seriously in a room, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Donald Trump, of course.
Like, if you were like a world leader and you were talking to Donald Trump, who would you trust more?
I would trust Kamala more. If I was a world leader, I would trust Kamala more.
But
Damn.
I'm
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
but you would take,
Damn.
But I
but
would have voted for Trump as a civilian, though.
I think I really, I like the way Donald Trump talks to people. He seems more authentic, don't you think, Tate?
Yeah, absolutely. He's very patriotic compared to Kamala. Kamala is just kind of like less patriotic. She's almost like all over the place,
I think
So
Kamala Harris just represents the elites. She's just the figurehead.
God
In
bless you.
in
That's
what
just a
way is
fucking
Trump
thought.
not the elite?
How is Trump not the elite?
Yeah, as a New York billionaire businessman,
I can be a billionaire and still not be an elite.
even with his associations with Elon Musk or Elon Musk's association with Peter Thiel, and then the recommendation to enact J.D. Vance as the vice president, you don't think that's any sort of elite structure or?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not, because he's going after the elites. That's the difference.
In what way is he going after the elite?
Well, he's going after the institutions of the elites, like, the FBI, the CIA. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education. Like, he's
Which is
trying.
retarded. I don't know why he would want to do anything like that.
Well, because education should be local. It shouldn't be governed in DC.
It still is localized. You don't have the federal curriculum, so.
Yeah, but every district is different, though. The way people learn in this country is different. Like, our country's not a country. Our country's made up of like 5 different countries, or 7 different countries.
So I don't. How do you. Does college just cease to exist if the Department of Education is wiped? How do you structure that?
It would probably be done privately. Like, I mean, it would be done how it was before.
Yeah, but if you're not eligible to receive loans or grants or anything anymore, how are you going to qualify to
That
go to
would be
college?
that would be the state, like the state of Tennessee or something like that. People get scholarships all the time to go to college through the state, like, who can't reach financial aid or something like that. Or if you make A's and B's to get a scholarship, or if you don't want to go to college, you can be in the trades, you can do welding, you can work in a chemical plant, you can do a lot of things without going to college to make money. Like, we have too many people in colleges now. You shouldn't have to go to college to make good money. Like, I went to a 2 year degree. I only have a 2 year degree, and I make good money. Like, and another thing, Kamala Harris represents the global order, like the European Union, NATO, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
She believes
the
in open borders. She believes in people, claiming.
Yeah, she's a fucking puppet.
in what way does she believe in open borders? We don't even have open borders, and we never have.
We have open borders. People cross the border all the time.
That doesn't mean they're open, though. They would be illegally crossing, or they would be seeking asylum processes that are legal. So it's not open. It's just.
Yeah, but they seek asylum. They're seeking asylum while they're here in America.
They're sneaking in. They're just sneaking in.
Yeah, and if they're
Yeah.
sneaking in,
not
then they're
like-
breaking the
yeah.
law.
Yeah, but there's no repercussion, though.
Well, there would have been repercussions if the border bill was enacted, but it was shot down by the request of Donald Trump onto Langford, Crenshaw, Cruz.
Yeah, because it was a bad border bill. It was allowing 5,000 people to come here illegally every day. That's not good.
Okay, so but how do you get rid of these people that are already in the States? Do you start harassing people and asking for their ID? How do you, decide, okay, this is the concentration of where the illegal immigrants are? Because they're spread across all over the States now, right? So how do you
The easiest
find these people?
I was listening to Tom Horn. Anywho, so I was listening to Tom Horn, and the easiest way is to track if they have a social security number and if they're working somewhere. The best way to round up people is at their work site. So let's say you're at a farm, you go there to see if people are legal there or not. You round them all up and they're deported. Or if somebody who's a criminal, you round them all up and they're deported. You just put them on a plane or you arrest them. Like, or if it's a mother and a child and they came here illegally, they'll be deported together, to their country of origin.
Okay, so are you going to assign this assignment to like the various county departments, the various county police departments, because
It'll be both. It'll be done by ICE. It'll be done by local police departments if they can cooperate.
okay, but they'll only be able to achieve about 13%. It's about 13% probability that they're going to be successful because a whole lot of
I don't
people.
know. Like, look, Donald Trump and Donald Trump and Tom Horn are probably working up with an idea of what to do. So the guy who's leading the head of deportation has done this for 30 years. He's an expert on this. So I think he knows what to do. And if we have to use more people, more recruitment, that's what we'll do. They're all going to,
How is that not a representation of an overreach of the federal government that you have an issue with?
because it's considered to be a national security threat. At what point is it not worth it?
Sure, but you wouldn't give that same charitability to the COVID vaccines or the lockdowns, would you?
This is totally different, though. You're talking about criminals. You're talking about rapists. You're talking about child trafficking. You're talking about
Which are
human.
very, very low rates compared to the average national citizen that exists in the U.S. currently. And then
But
with
we
that
don't.
figure you're talking about earlier, where it was allowing a certain amount of illegal crossings, it was at a 7-day average where it's like four. I think it was either 4 or 5,000. But once that point is reached, the borders like shut down entirely, like
But
until it reaches below the like 75% threshold that it was prior.
but we don't know who's committing what crime because they're illegal. They're not traceable. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you have an illegal alien that shoplifts, you can't put them in jail because they're a foreign national. You have to deport them. Or if they live in a sanctuary state like New York or Los Angeles, they're usually released right out of jail because you cannot put a foreign national in jail unless you contact their country of origin at the embassy. Like, that's what I'm saying.
So if an illegal immigrant commits crime in the United States, you're not allowed to deport them?
It depends what state they're at. It depends if they're in a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city like Colorado or California. It depends. Like, some places can, but the state would have to report to ICE. So, like, let's say I'm the governor of Texas, and I have a sheriff department saying, "Hey, I have 300 illegal aliens." Then I would have to report that to ICE, Immigration Border Control Custom. That's how it works. And we have states, we have sanctuary. I think that should be against the law to have sanctuary cities where illegal aliens can live there and not have to worry about being deported.
Don't you?
They're all going to be deported. They're all will be deported. It don't matter if you're here for 20 years. You're being deported. I'm sorry. You should have came here the right way.
That ain't possible. Anybody that's been there over 20 years should have
No,
gotten citizenship
look,
somewhere
they broke
somehow.
they broke the law. They have to be deported. That's their punishment.
Okay,
Like,
so okay,
something wrong in life, and
yeah.
like, if you do something wrong that your parents told you not to do, it doesn't matter if it's a week later. Your parents are still going to discipline you regardless. Like, that's how it works. Same thing when it comes to we have law and order in this country. We're a Western country. We're a first world nation, and we have laws and orders on the books. And you know, any other country would deport somebody if they're there for.
If we have law and order in the books, then why doesn't the president of the United States follow that?
Why does he not? Why does he not follow them? Because he's controlled. He's totally controlled. Joe Biden is not in his right mind.
No, I mean, why does... Sorry, let me rephrase. The president-elect, Donald Trump, who's convicted of crimes and who is now no longer facing repercussions for the actions on January 6th because he was granted criminal immunity. Like, he's not even following the structure of law and order that you
What did
say that you value.
January 6th? That was so bad. I don't understand.
What is it?
What did he do January 6th that was so bad?
Yeah, he coordinated a plot with his private lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, and I believe there was one other, to enact fake electors from 7 different states to say that they were the duly elected electors from those states that represented votes in favor of Trump so that he can overturn the election in favor of him.
He didn't want to overturn the election.
He did.
He wanted an investigation.
And he had 64 court cases where that was attempted, and then Rudy Giuliani was also sued, filed for bankruptcy, and disbarred from his practicing law license.
That's like me being a judge and you bringing me evidence to say, hey, I want to have a hearing, and I say, oh no, you're not having a hearing. That doesn't even give you the opportunity to show the evidence. Like if there was an honest judge that said, sure, bring me the evidence and we'll do a deep dive. Like there was no judge that wanted to hear the case.
They were honest though, and even by Trump's standards, they were honest because they were appointed by Trump. They have no standing for it. That's why they're dismissed.
Just because they're appointed by Trump doesn't mean anything.
They were dismissed on standing. Do you acknowledge that?
I mean, but I think it was a bad reasoning. They weren't even given a chance.
Because you need standing to present a court case in order for it to be heard.
Look, 2020, the RNC did not do a good job fighting these cases before the election and lawsuits. You see, you can't do lawsuits after an election. You can't throw out ballots after an election because it's already in there. The way to stop Democrats from voting is doing it before an election. Like in Georgia, like we have a really good RNC now with Laura Trump and Michael Watley. And they filed like over 200 lawsuits in 2023 to 2024 to make voting a lot harder in the swing states, and it worked. That's how you do it.
Your definition of a good RNC right now is a cabinet full of Trump sycophants that will do everything that Trump requests of them.
I think that's great.
That's delusional. That's psychotic. You just have yes men that you're constantly surrounded by that are afraid to confront you or go against your ideas.
Well, that's what 77 million people voted for. They wanted Trump policies, and they're going to get up. Look, everybody who voted for Trump knows he's going to do massive deportations. It's not like it's a surprise.
Well, he didn't do anything for the border the first time that he was running. I don't know why.
Because he had a bunch of rhinos, a bunch of establishment Republicans like Mitt Romney who would vote the border bill down all the time. Yeah, because Donald Trump wanted a border wall, but it would never pass the Senate.
It wouldn't have been effective in the first place. And he had majority Congress, which still didn't get passed. I think he only had like 4% passed, and he said Mexico would pay for it, and they never did.
The Republicans in the Senate are not good folks. Mitch McConnell is not a Trump supporter. He's never been a Trump supporter. He has made Trump's term. Unless when it was appointing judges, that's the only thing Mitch was good for. But everything else, like Trump's agenda, that's why Trump had to bypass Congress and eat up through FEMA to build the wall as a national security threat.
Yeah, which is what he's accused Joe Biden of doing, of delegating FEMA funds from the hurricane relief in North Carolina and then designating them to migrants. But that's, as you just admitted, that's literally what he did with FEMA relief, where he just designated it to the border to attempt to construct the border.
The difference is he's given FEMA relief to redistribute illegal aliens in the country versus Trump was trying to build a wall. That's the difference.
No, he was using the FEMA aid for the FEMA intentions, whatever the FEMA budget was designated for during that time. He wasn't using it to misappropriate it for things that it's not used for.
He was giving it so FEMA can redistribute or scatter these illegal aliens all over across the country. That's what he was doing it for. He was not doing it to stop illegal aliens coming over the country. He wasn't giving it to ICE. He wasn't giving it to Immigration Border Patrol. Look, every Border Patrol agent hates Joe Biden.
Sure, but then why did they endorse the border bill that was proposed recently?
Because it was probably the best they had,
Exactly. And it was shot down by, or told to be shot down by, from Trump by multiple Republicans.
It was probably the best they were probably going to get from Joe Biden. It wasn't going. It was a lame ass bill, but in the eyes of the Border Patrol, it was still an F+.
It wasn't a lame-ass bill. It would have provided more funding to the border directly, to Border Patrol agents to increase their base pay, to increase Border Patrol agents on the border, and it would have assigned more judges to the asylum processes so that they can go through the asylum claims at a much faster rate. Because if you have an issue of immigrants that are claiming they're seeking asylum, and then they are sitting and being housed in the U.S. by waiting potentially years for their process to be for their claim to be processed, then having more asylum judges at the border would have potentially helped with that, but it was shot down.
I want Donald Trump to do. I want Donald Trump to activate the national military on the border and to patrol the border. That's what we need. And on top with Border Patrol, on top of ICE.
I don't even know if that's legal.
Sure it is.
You're saying it's legal to deploy the national military onto the border?
Absolutely, it's a national security threat.
No shot.
State of invasion. He can declare the state of invasion, and he can declare the Seditious Alien Act of 1793. Absolutely, it's illegal. Joe Biden did it during his inauguration. He deployed in the National Guard.
He deployed it when and where?
He deployed in the National Guard and the military during his so-called inauguration in 2020. There were tanks and Humvees in D.C. in 2020. There was 50,000 military personnel in D.C. for his little inauguration that nobody attended to. And I'm right. Donald Trump will deploy the military. Donald Trump will do massive deportations, and we're going to get 60% of the Hispanic vote because of it. You know who wants deportations more than anybody? Latinos. Latinos who are legal citizens.
Sure, then why did they vote for Trump whenever Obama, just before him, was known as deporter-in-chief for deporting more illegal immigrants than Donald Trump ever has?
We're not talking about Obama. We're talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Sure, but even by those standards, they have deported more than Donald Trump has.
Yeah, because Tom Horn was, Tom Horn, that same guy who's going to be on Trump's administration. Did you know he served with Obama? Even Obama knew that you can't have massive illegal aliens crossing the border because it looks bad on the country and that you lose elections. People want security. Women want security. If you want women voters, women like nothing more than a manly man protecting them.
Wait, so, okay, earlier you cited the National Guard that was being deployed by Joe Biden as inauguration. What is that for exactly?
What was it for? I don't know what it was for.
Yeah, it was because of the crazy fucking sycophants of Trump on January 6th whenever they're rioting at the Capitol to try and overturn the election. That's why he garnered the National Guards to come to D.C. for the inauguration. I don't... Why...
That was like 3 weeks after January 6th. And January 6th was never an insurrection. It was just a riot gone bad.
It was an insurrection, and it was 8 days after January 6th happened.
Well, if that's an insurrection, that sure is a horrible way to have an insurrection. I've never seen such a weak, pathetic insurrection. Look, us Trump supporters, I guarantee you can find 50,000 Trump supporters where they are 15s and trained military combat veterans to really overtake that Capitol if they really wanted to.
For one, they did have trained combat veterans. For two, they did have weapons. For three, the threshold for the likelihood of an insurrection to actually be successful is irrelevant to it being considered an insurrection.
It was just a bad riot. It was no different than Black Lives Matter.
It was absolutely different.
Absolutely not. And nobody cares about the insurrection.
What was the intention of January 6th?
January 6th was to persuade the Senate and the Congress to do a 10-day investigation. That's what it was for.
No, it was to try and get Mike Pence to certify the fake electors that Donald Trump and his private lawyers had set forward.
For Mike Pence not to certify and send it back to the states and do a 10-day review.
So when Trump is saying, Mike, you're too honest, or you can be a patriot or a pussy, or Mike Pence has the opportunity to do the right thing and certify the electors, and you have John Eastman and Rudy Giuliani at the ellipsis speech prior to Donald Trump coming up saying that there's a legal theory that is being proposed.
Right. He didn't do anything illegal when it comes to that because,
he did. He violated the ECA.
People, look, when you're voting for the president, you're voting for the slate of electors. You're not voting for candidate. You're
Yeah, and
voting
they
for
did.
you're voting for the slate of electors that the state. Did you know a state legislator can actually deny somebody? So let's say Donald Trump won California. Did you know the state legislator can actually um, deny Trump's slate of electors if he won California? Did you know that? Or Michigan? Did you know, because in Michigan the Democrats make up the House and the Senate in Michigan? Did you know Gretchen Whitmer can actually conspire a coup and not have to send the slate of electors to Donald Trump? She don't have to, and that would be perfectly legal.
You're saying that the electors that are chosen, the electors are chosen by the state to send forward to Congress, right?
Yeah, but it can also be challenged and denied by the state legislator, because the state legislator has the final decision.
And was that the case in 2021?
That was the case. That's what they wanted to do, was send it back to the state so the state legislator can decide that whose slate of electors would represent.
No, they already had the state-appointed electors that were being sent to Congress,
Yeah,
and that's why you had.
and they can vote it down. They can say, okay, we want to change our mind. We're not going to send Joe Biden's slate of electors. Now we're going to send Trump.
But they didn't change their mind. You had Donald Trump's personal lawyers contacting people in those states to falsely claim that they were the electors. That's why they're facing, I'm pretty sure, espionage charges, saying that they were the. There was like
Well,
actual evidence.
It don't really matter because they're all going to be pardoned by Trump, so they're going to be fine and they're going to get all their money back. So I'm not really worried about
For one,
that.
I don't even know if they can be pardoned. I don't know if it's a state charge or a federal charge. But for two, so if Biden pardoned Hunter Biden, you wouldn't have an issue with that?
I mean, I might not like it, but he has the right to pardon whoever he wants.
It's not about having the right. It's about setting the standard.
Look, this is not about setting the standard. When you're the president, it's about power. If he wants to pardon Saddam Hussein, if he was still alive and he was in America, he can.
I don't know how that's relevant. Even if you pardon him, are you going to say that his actions were justified or moral or good or?
No, because he has the right as the president to pardon anybody he wants.
It's not about having the right. It's about setting the precedent for good behavior. If he's falsely attempting to.
Look, okay, look. When you're in power, it's not about the setting. It's about power. This is about power. Anybody who's in power will tell you this is not about setting a good example. This is about leaving a legacy. This is about dominating.
No, it is. It's not mutually exclusive to have power and to set a good example. Like, you know that, right? You can.
Look, we're not here to get along with people. We're here to rule the country. We're here for Donald Trump to rule the country that we voted him to do. We're here for him to do 15 million massive deportations. We're here for him to put Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and everybody on January 6th in prison. We're here for justice. We're here to make sure that the deep state can never do this, persecute people, go after people.
Yeah, and exactly what you're requesting is a further enactment of the deep state when you have Donald Trump surrounding himself by billionaires, by yes men, by people who will do whatever they want, by pardoning January 6 rioters, and by pardoning the people who falsely claimed that they were the electors. Like, you don't understand how that's the deep state?
When somebody does something wrong, it doesn't make you an immoral person to arrest somebody, to put them in jail. Okay. Now, it does make you immoral if you're putting somebody innocent in jail and trying to ruin them politically so they won't run again. Because they knew they couldn't cheat in 2024. That's why they assassinated him twice.
Why does it matter if they cheated, though? If I were to agree with that, why would it matter if they have the power? It's all about power, right?
Oh, they were trying to. They were trying to put him in jail. I mean, if Donald Trump would have lost this election, he was going to go to New York and go to jail for 700 years in Rikers Island.
But you wouldn't have an issue with that, right? Because it's just power. We're not here to promote fairness or goodness. It's just about dominating, right?
If I was a Democrat, I would actually like it. I would want Donald Trump to be in jail if I was a Democrat.
Well, why does it matter if you're a Democrat or Republican? It's just about power from your perspective.
Well, exactly. I mean, like, morally, it's not right. It can cause a civil war. It could cause a massive civil war. You might get a couple judges that might be assassinated. But I'm just saying, Because Donald Trump did nothing wrong.
He did.
Donald Trump is an innocent man that
He's
loves
not.
this country.
He hates this country. He hates this constitution.
He loves eating hamburgers. He loves listening to YMCA.
So he's a fat ass that likes old music. That's your definition of loving the country?
He hates Haitians. What? You can't get more American than that.
He also hates every demographic of the country right now, so I don't know if you think that's a good thing or not.
He loves Latinos. He loves whites. He loves, he loves his voters. That is America.
Yeah, he loves his yes men. That'll go along with anything that he says.
Yeah, when you're a president, you kind of want a yes man. You don't want people to
No, you don't want a yes man. You ideally want a congressional environment that is comprised of your constituents.
Look, your candidate lost, mine won.
Sure, but yours lost last time, and you guys rioted at the Capitol trying to overthrow the results of the election. So,
and guess what? We still won.
I don't see how that matters whatsoever. It's so like mind-boggling how you complain about like some deep state like cabal behind the scenes that is so evil and enacting all this like sneaky stuff, and then you are completely allowing of Donald Trump and his people to do the exact thing that you criticize the other side of doing. Like, it's like you have no standards whatsoever.
Gather, your only base of people that vote for the Democrats are ghetto black women.
That's not even true at all.
Yeah, 97% of them 93% of them voted for Kamala. That's your biggest voting block, is ghetto black bitches on welfare. But go ahead, LA Dodge.
That doesn't even make sense. I don't even think the majority of black women are on welfare.
Hey, Christian. It's me, Miss Eddings. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Good. I'm good. I
I'm
was
pretty
just wondering.
sure
I don't know why this guy doesn't like Trump. Let me ask you a question.
Probably because he's a fat, un-American loser retard. That's why I don't like Trump.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
Go for it.
Do you think Trump is racist towards black people?
He's probably said some racist shit. I don't know if he as a person is like uniquely racist.
Has said something racist once in their lives.
All right, so has Donald Trump ever put any laws or anything against black people?
Not that I'm aware of.
Right, and guess who has? Your girl Kamala.
What has she done against what law? Wait, what law have they enacted against black people?
Oh God, she totally listen. If the myth is that black kids don't go to school, and so let me target the parents of the black kids.
Yeah, if you're not sending your children to school, then you should go to fucking jail because it's essentially child abuse. Yes.
You don't even know the circumstances.
Then you would account for the circumstances.
Right? Are you bugging? These people.
No, you sound like you're bugging if you're going to say that Kamala and Biden have enacted policies against black people.
Hold on. Biden is the most racist. Didn't Trump say that in the debate? He said, I'm the least racist person in the room. Biden is the most racist person. His whole career has been doing shit to black people. Period.
Like what?
3 strikes, you're out. What are you talking about?
And how is that a policy against black people?
How was that a policy against black people?
I mean, you can restate it in the dumbest fucking voice you can possible.
Who's in the prison?
I would assume a conglomerate of the population.
Dude, this guy said he wanted his kids to go to school with monkeys. His mentor was what's his name? Brom or Starbert, whatever that racist ass dude's name is. Thurman, or what is that his name? Like, come on. He did his whole eulogy. He was the person that stood up, talked about it with a great America. Come on, dude. The dude was a KKK king. He's racist. Biden is way more dangerous. And Kamala is just stupid. She don't know how to answer questions. None of that. I don't understand how you can vote for a person that can't intelligently. If you're going to run for the leader of the free world. You got to know how to answer questions.
If that's your
can't
standard, then you
stand
shouldn't be voting for
fire.
Trump at all, because if he's going to meander on stage and dance awkwardly for 40 minutes, I don't think that's any better than whatever you can point to for
I'd
Kamala,
rather
but
want to
keep
see
going.
that than some bitch trying to claim that she's a black American.
Because she's a black and Indian woman. I don't
She
understand.
ain't black at all.
How is she not
Stop
black
that
at all?
shit. Jamaican is not black.
It
What the
is,
fuck?
you fucking retard.
What are you talking? Okay, so tell that to the Chinese over there. That's Jamaican. They black too.
To the
Huh?
Chinese, when you're to the Chinese
Jamaicans
that
are
are
black.
Jamaican.
What are you talking
The
about?
Chinese
Jamaicans ain't
Well,
black.
hold on. Her father's actually half black, so she's a quarter black. If you're a quarter black, you're not black.
Notice how you're saying
So
black.
that's what I'm saying. She's not. Her dad's half black, and her.
Notice how you're still saying, whenever you say quarter black, notice you still have black
She's
in the
not black,
title.
dude.
She is. She's
She's not
black and
black.
Indian. I don't know if
Jamaican.
you've heard of. I don't know if you've heard of mixed people, but they exist.
Jamaican is an ethnicity.
Yes, that's why I'm saying black, dude.
No,
What?
that's not what. Oh my god. So what you're telling me, Mister, I
Okay,
am
so who's black?
smarter
Who's
than the
black?
person I'm talking to. Is
Yes, I
that
probably am smarter than you because you sound like a fucking retard, especially if you're voting for a fucking.
only black people live in Jamaica?
No, not
That's
only
the
black.
citizenship?
When did I? Oh, who are you speaking to?
What do you mean? Who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to
I'm
you.
I'm speaking to you when I'm asking you who are you speaking to, because it's obviously not me, because I didn't say anything like that whatsoever.
And I should retarded.
So the
Honestly,
other
She is fucking retarded.
the other people that live there are all everybody that lives in Jamaica is black.
Who said that? Who are you speaking to?
Well, I'm asking you because you're saying that
95%
just
of
because
everybody living in
her
Jamaica
dad
are
is
black people.
Jamaican that she's black. And
Are
I'm
you
black,
saying
so
that
I know
everybody in
she's
America
black.
is white? Are you saying that everybody in America is white? Say that to the Chinese people that live in America.
Oh my god.
You're so
You see
fucking
what I'm
stupid.
saying?
Can you
But
not grasp that
Hold on.
concept at all?
Let's go to different topic besides talking about race. But I'll just say this: like, Kamala Harris' base, the people who vote for her are white liberal women, homosexuals, and black women. That's her base. You know who our base is? The Trump base: white working class and Hispanic working class and black men. That's
don't forget FBAs.
that's why I said black males. Like that's a huge base. We have a ginormous base with look with whites and Hispanics. That's 85% of the country. That's 85.
Yo, Christian, I gotta ask her a question, honestly, bro.
Yeah, go
Honestly.
ahead. Ask LA
She
Dodger
says
question.
she's FBA. Like, what is your descent from? Are you affiliated with any African? Do you have any African descent?
Nope.
So you are not a black person. As long as you don't have no African lineage,
Damn,
you ain't
African.
black. No.
You're not an American.
The
The
term,
fuck are
the
you
term,
talking about?
the term,
With your thick ass
black.
accent, you're not a fucking
I don't give a
American to
fuck,
tell
bro.
me
I'm a
what the
proud
fuck I
African,
am.
bro. I'm
You gotta
Negro.
try.
You
Ain't
ain't
you gotta
Negro,
try?
bro.
Do you gotta try?
No, you are a Negro,
You
bro.
ain't. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ain't got
You
no
say
try,
you're
bruh.
native. You say you're Native American, bro.
Now y'all see this shit?
As long as you don't have
This
African
motherfucker with a thick
ancestry,
ass accent, not an
you ain't black,
American,
bro. Yeah,
and
because I'm a
can't even
fucking
tell you
African,
that
bro.
he ain't
Because
gotta
I'm black and black.
try.
I'm
You
a
gotta
fucking
try,
black nigga, bro.
motherfucker.
He's a
You
real
gotta
Nah,
black.
try.
You're a white
ain't black.
American.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you ain't get African dysentery, you ain't black.
No, shut the fuck up.
You
Ain't
ain't no
nobody
Negro,
talking
bro.
about no African.
These motherfuckers are delusional, bro.
This
She's probably
motherfucker is
claiming Native
delusional.
Indian.
Man,
She's probably
look,
claiming Native
motherfucker, go
Indian.
get your interpreter and then come back
As
here
long
with your
She's
as
thick
like
you
ass
weren't
Elizabeth
accent.
Warren. She's
African,
related to
you
Pocahontas,
weren't
trust
black.
me.
You retarded ass bitch.
Yeah, Joe retarded.
These motherfuckers got no culture, got nothing,
Get no
got no language,
culture.
bro. Talking about
Ah,
Jamaicans ain't black.
don't you just love
If
hate, man?
Jamaicans ain't black, if Africans ain't black, then nobody's black. You dumb fuck.
So I had to remove that because I don't want to talk about race the whole entire time. I mean, of course,
Nah,
black.
she's retarded. This is what
Look,
I
look,
was saying earlier about these
look.
FVA people. They're just
Jesus.
stupid.
Let me tell you something, Paige. Like a lot of black people say, well, we don't look like Africans from Africa. I'm like, well, that's because most black people have about 20 to 30% of white DNA in them. That's why they're not as dark, black Americans. Even though they still look, they have black facial features. That's why they're lighter, I mean, because of mixture. But which can be a good thing. If you're, I do like mixed race guys.
Yeah, it's definitely acceptable. There's no. I'm not trying
They're
to
not Native Americans.
debunk.
I will
No,
100%.
and a black American that says it's Native American is just stupid and retarded as fuck.
It looks like
Yeah.
Harris
If no
outperformed
African,
Trump in every.
if nobody's black, if no
But I
African
will
is
say,
black, nobody's
Gatherer,
black.
we will have massive deportations, and
We
you'll
won't.
vote for, and you will vote for Trump in 2028.
It's not. That's not even legal for one.
Well,
For two.
we'll make it legal.
So how can you claim that you love the country, or you love the Constitution, or you're voting for somebody that claims to have those values?
Well, we're going to change the Constitution for your own good.
So to have a dictator.
There's nothing wrong with a dictator.
Nothing inherently wrong, but there's inherently something wrong with somebody who's only in it for the corruption of power for his own
I'm
self-interest.
joking with you, but I think you voted for Trump.
Yeah, definitely sound like the demographic.
Well, you're a white guy, so I presume you did. It's like 70% of white males.
Well, they had white guys for Harris, don't forget.
Yeah, but they're all homosexuals.
Yeah, who says I'm not?
You probably are a gay. I'm not surprised.
So true.
You see, I'm right about that. You see, the Kamala Harris's voter bloc is gays, white college-educated women, and black women.
Nah, boy, you gay though.
Harris
vote for
basically
Kamala.
outperformed Trump in every demographic besides white, correct?
No, he did not. No, I mean she did not. Trump got 60% of the white vote, 50% of the Hispanic vote, 45% of the Asian vote, and 65% of the Native American vote.
And where are you looking at this data from?
In the Nest.
Let me look at this.
Trump did excellent across every demographic. He got literally 60% of the white male vote, 53% of the white female vote, 25% of the black male vote, 60%, nearly 60% of the Hispanic male vote. Like, he did great with males.
Even in this thing, it's specifying key states, but even in this, it backs up what I'm claiming.
He did wonderful. He got 60% of Native Americans. With white men, he got 60%. White females, he got 53%. Black males, he got 21%. Latino men, he got nearly 60%. Latino women's 40%. Like, he did wonderful. Why you don't have to win black women to win the election? They're like 12% of the vote. They're like 6% of the voting bloc. Like,
sure, and
if you win Hispanics and whites, we're gonna that's a ruling party forever.
Okay, but even in 2024, the polling results for the all-around general vote, Harris has 85% of all black populations, 91% black women, 77% black men.
Yeah, but the voting bloc for blacks is shrinking.
But she still has the vast majority of that. Even with Latinos, she has 60% of the Latino women vote. For the women overall, she has 53%.
But how about Hispanic males? So Hispanic males, he got like 55% of Hispanic males. So that's a 10-point difference right there of Hispanic males. And, there's going to be more Hispanics than there are black people in this country. I mean, black people in this country have low fertility rates. They're not, they're dying. They're shrinking in population just like the white folks are. Their fertility rates are actually the same. So, like, if you have whites and Hispanics combined, we're winning like 50-50 with Hispanics, and we're winning 60-40 with whites. You're not going to lose an election. Like, we're going to win Arizona and Nevada. Those are Hispanic states. We'll flip New Mexico, and we'll win the Rust Belt. Like,
are you not concerned that if you deport all of the immigrants, you're going to take away potentially Trump's voter base?
No, because the people who voted are legal citizens.
Are you sure? How come all the Democrat ones are illegal?
Oh, I never said they were illegal aliens. What they use is people who don't vote, people who are low propensity voters on the voter rolls. So, like, if the election's really close, like, what they'll do is inject a bunch of names on the voter rolls.
Again, I don't know why they did it last time, but not this election.
Because Trump was so far ahead, they ran out of names on the voter rolls. You can only rig an election between 1 and 3 points.
Where
You
do
know, if
you
you
where do you get that figure from?
where do I get that figure from? Because I
Yes.
have people who worked on Stacey Abrams' campaign who are gay Democrats.
Why does
That's what
it
they
them
told
being
me.
gay matter? It doesn't matter at all.
But like they told me, you can only rig an election between 1 and 3 points when it's really close, because it's really hard not to rig it when it's too far ahead. Because it takes too much time. It's too obvious. Like you know, you got a certain amount of time to do all of that. I mean, in early voting, you know. But I'm just saying, you know, that if we're going to win 60% of the Hispanic vote if Trump deports all the illegals out, trust me, Hispanics love deportation. They're going to love it more than the white folks. That's how you win Hispanic voters: is deportation, tough on immigration. Because illegal aliens, you know, I mean, not illegal aliens, but Hispanics, most of them are not illegals. Most of them have been in the country for 50, 60 years. You know, they don't want illegal aliens here in this country. The people who voted for Donald Trump are legal citizens. Like, they're not going to be deported. They don't care. Deportations will happen, and black people want deportations. Black voters, especially black men who work in the labor force, who work with their hands, who have a blue collar job, they don't want to compete with illegal aliens. It lowers wages. It competes unfair competition. You know, I'm a blue collar worker. I don't know if you ever done blue collar work in your life, or if you live in the DC Beltway, but you know, here in the real world, you know, it lowers the wages.
In what way does it lower the wages?
Because it adds unfair competition. Like, instead of me hiring a black guy and a white guy, I can just hire somebody who's from Guatemala and pay him underneath the table, and I'll have to pay him health insurance, and he sends half of his money to Guatemala.
But if the illegal immigrants are coming in at lower wages and taking up these jobs that are at lower wages, then lower wage native workers are going to be basically incentivized to take these higher wage jobs that have availabilities.
Those jobs are being taken by a lot of HB1 visa recipient holders, like people from India and people from China, like Silicon Valley.
Aren't those types of immigrants typically working like tech jobs?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the tech jobs, like the engineering jobs. You know, you're talking about, you know, a lot of these high school, and a lot of people are not meant to go to college. You know, some people are just not meant to go to school. So, I mean, some people can't go to college. They're not mentally capable. So, like, they shouldn't be punished by living in poverty. Like, we have plenty of, like, I hate when people say Americans don't want these jobs. There's not a job that American won't do, but there is a job that American won't do when they're being paid $7 an hour. Like, I would pick, if I had no job and I had to pick strawberries for $20 an hour, I would. But you know, an American's not going to pick strawberries for $10 an hour, no health insurance or no benefits. And you know, these people, it's going to be good for the agricultural business, because you know, um, these people can still do agricultural work, but they have to get a visa. Like, if you're illegal working here illegally, and if your business suffers, that's upon you. You shouldn't have hired them. You know, but if you hire people who have visas, or if the United States allows so many people who are from a certain country as agricultural workers that have visas, and once their visa runs out, they have to go home. They can't stay here no longer. And if they stay here longer, they go to jail. They overstayed their visa for immigration fraud. We have laws. You know, we're a country of laws here, and the Democrats seem not to care about the laws
They do
unless
care about the laws. That's why the
eh,
issue is that they tried to enact the border bill that was shot down that would have helped go through the lawful access of the country. The
yeah,
majority of people that are accessing the border at the moment are asylum seekers or asylees.
but Joe Biden doesn't need Congress. He can just do an executive order. right now as we speak. He can do an executive
Yeah.
order.
Can I ask you a question, Christian?
Hmm.
What does Israel have against the United States? Like, why do you keep sending money over to support, Israel, to perform genocide against the Palestinians? Like,
Because
why do you
Israel is the
feel
only ally that
involved?
America has in the Middle East region, man. Israel is the only people that stand between us and the horrors of radical Islamic terror that's going on in the Middle East right now. It's not a genocide that's going on right now. It's a defense. What happened on October the 7th was a terrorist attack. Innocent Jewish people
Absolutely.
were massacred and were killed, and Israeli people are just fighting back and they're defending their own country, their own sovereignty. Any other country would do the same thing.
Okay, but don't you think that the financial support is kind of excessive?
I'll answer this. So here in America, we have a pact called APAC, which stands for America Israel Political Action Group. Okay, and what APAC does is they fund. What the APAC does is they fundraise money for candidates, mostly during primaries, especially during our Congress. So if there's a congressperson that goes against APAC or Israel, what APAC will do is they'll pay somebody else to run against them in a primary. They'll outspend them, they'll outraise them, and typically that person who criticizes about Israel will lose an election because the Israel lobby here in this country is very strong and very powerful on both sides. That's look, the Israel lobby is not um, a Democrat Republican thing. They fund both sides. That is one thing I can't agree with the progressive Democrats. That the Israel lobby should be registered as a foreign agent because they're what they're doing is they're being the henchmen for Israel. They're representing their country's interests and they're not being labeled as a foreign entity. Like look, I'm neutral when it comes to Israel. Like I don't hate Israel. I don't love Israel. It's a country in the Middle East that I pay no attention to. It has no significance to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the Venezuelans coming across our border that are killing and raping women. We're being
Yeah.
inundated by third worlders from Haiti and Venezuela and Africa that have no place here.
Yeah, because Venezuela doesn't even share borders with the United States. So,
And
imagine
we have
how far they've
NGO
come.
groups. Did you know we have non-government organization groups that will literally give money to illegal aliens and give them a map in different areas how to get to the United States?
If it's non-governmental, then what's the issue?
Because they're committing treason and they're breaking the law. They're aiding and abetting illegal aliens into the country.
Sure, then lock them up. I don't know why that's an issue against the...
Well, Joe Biden hasn't.
Has what?
He hasn't done anything to break these NGO groups.
He's attempting to pass laws or pass the legislation that,
That was a
again, was shot
weak.
down.
That would look.
What was
That was
weak about it? Why was it not proposed? What? Actually, just tell me what was weak about it.
because it allowed 5,000 people to cross into the border, which is 2.5 million illegal aliens could come here legally crossing the border.
And how many did we have prior to that?
Crossing the border?
No, that was allowed to come in on a daily basis.
I know. Last year we had about 5 million,
So we had no restrictions prior.
but Joe Biden was still the president, though. He could have done an executive order. Joe Biden undid Donald Trump's border executive orders when he first went into office. He said in 2020, when I come in and become the president, rush the borders, is what he said on that primary stage.
That's what that Joe Biden said. Rush the borders when I'm president.
It's exactly what he said. When I'm elected, rush the borders. It's on film. I'm not making that up. Look, everything I say is not a QAnon conspiracy theory. Look, I don't like QAnon. It's garbage. Everything I say is right. If I'm not right, I'll say I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to how many people were crossing in, like last year, how many was it a day? I don't know, but I know 5 million came in here illegally. So
My
you
point
divide that.
in my point in asking that was that prior to the border bill, there was no limit. Like,
There
it was
was a limit.
unrestricted.
There was a thing called Stay in Mexico.
Yeah,
You
stay
could
in Mexico was inefficient. There wasn't very much done at all.
Stay in Mexico worked. Stay in Mexico was a great policy.
How many did it
And
have? Like 10,000 in 2019 alone?
Last year, Donald Trump's administration, there was less immigration than there was when he first started office. Illegal immigration.
Do you
Legal
know
immigration.
why?
That's because of people say that's because of COVID,
Yeah,
but that's
because
not.
he had the access to enact Title 42.
Yeah, so there was lots, and Joe Biden got rid of Title 42.
Because it was no longer able to be forced legally.
But Donald Trump could have signed an executive order to keep it intact.
If it's only federally allowed under the guise of a safety concerns, then I don't understand how he would have been able to keep that
How could he
enacted.
done it? He could have done it through Congress. He could have signed an executive order. He could have done a lot of things. You can bypass Congress for a lot. You don't have to have Congress permission to do anything. Hardly. It's just a custom. The only thing you need Congress for is for budgeting and passing amendments. That's the only thing you need for Congress. Like if you're passing a budget for Ukraine, it has to go through Congress, and then the president can veto it. And then the only way you can override a president's veto is a 2/3 majority, which will never happen since we have a divided House and we have a slim majority in the Senate. So, like, Joe Biden could have kept Title 42. Joe Biden could have deployed the National Guard. Joe Biden could have kept stay in Mexico. Joe Biden didn't do any of those things because he wants to replace the Americans in this country with a bunch of third worlders who will be mass amnestied in the near future. Because the Democrats want mass amnesty. Because I guarantee you, if the Democrats would have had the House and the Senate and had the presidency, mass amnesty would be on the talks, would be on the chopping block right now. And we don't support mass amnesty. My party, my country, the people in America does not support. We don't want DACA recipients. We
I
don't
mean, it
want.
kind of seems like you're, at least at the very, very least, if I'm willing to grant that, you're complicit with allowing these people to continue to go through the border. Because again, legislation was proposed and requested to be shot down with no reasoning whatsoever. Title 42 was already shaky to continue with its existence because it would have possibly been like, in a dicey sort of way, illegal potentially. Because if these people are coming over here and they're saying that they're seeking asylum, then we're legally required to take them in, unless you do some sort of amendment or
We're not
appeal
legally
to.
required. We're not legally required to take asylum seekers.
We
We can
are.
just tell. No, we're not.
We are.
Says who?
The two major pieces of legislation in the 1960s that required us to after the Vietnam War and after World War II that said that if somebody were to come here and say that they're seeking asylum, that we're required to keep them in the country until their claims are processed.
No, we don't have to. We can just say, I'm sorry, you're not welcome here. That's what I would do.
That's the thing that you're complaining about with the border bill. Whenever you're saying
I know that sounds cold and cruel, but I don't care.
Then it would be illegal unless you pass legislation that says otherwise.
What about when Trump was in office? How much did the Democrats participate in his border wall or anything he wanted to do with the border?
Didn't he have the majority of Congress for like the
But
first 2
still,
years of his administration, and he got nothing done?
He had to fight Paul Ryan, a huge rhino, and then he had to fight Mitch McConnell, another rhino.
If you're that ineffective as a leader, then I don't know. That sounds like an issue to you, because I'm pretty sure Biden had a divided Congress and was still able to pass major pieces of legislation, for one. For two, you keep pointing to Mitch McConnell, who is the person who torpedoed the impeachment process whenever he was being impeached for the January 6th shit. And alongside there was something else. I don't remember if it was the border thing specifically, but even though he's against Trump, he's still willing to go.
He's not a look. We're MAGA. Like, everybody in this room, me, Cowboy, anybody who's working class, who doesn't have like a PhD degree, who's normal people, who don't talk in big vocabulary words, who just have normal lives, who don't live inside the DC Beltway or live in a huge metropolis city like Chicago, LA. We're MAGA. We hated the Republican Party before Trump came in. This is a new party. This is a hostile takeover. If they don't like it, they can get the fuck out of the way.
Do you remember when Trump flew down to the border when he was in office and he spoke with the head of the border? His last name was Ruiz. You could watch it on YouTube. And they asked him about border crossings, and he said, Mr. President, where we have border wall up, we see a 90% decrease in crossings there, right? Like those aren't the problem spots. The problem spots are where we don't have wall. So why will you not believe the people that are on the border, that are running the border, that say we want the wall, it helps, it's effective? And I don't know why Democrats kept saying it's not going to do nothing. They're just, it's
Because it wouldn't.
ineffective. So there you go. So you're not believing the experts that are on the border
Wait,
that
tell me
are in
what the issue
charge
is
of
with immigration right now.
The issue is
what?
we're being
How
inundated.
did
We're
you just
being
switch the
invaded.
topic? All you have to do is
Because you
admit
have no
that
understanding whatsoever. Even if you were to build the wall and they were going to ports of entry and saying that they seek asylum, we're legally required to keep them in house to go and process their asylum claims.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
It's called stay in Mexico. You seek asylum the first country you enter. So, like, this is how it works. It's called
it's
Title.
frustrating, isn't it? Right?
So
You
it's
had
called
Obama's
Title
border,
42. So Title 4.
Then you had Trump come in. He had the lowest border crossings in like 40 years, and those are the results, right?
In which
And then
part of his
Biden came into
administration?
office. He vetoed everything
In
Trump
which part
did,
of
and
Trump's
now you're
administration?
crying because we don't want to
In
work
which
with
part
you
of Trump's
guys.
administration did he have the lowest crossings?
The whole thing.
Not true.
Because, look, Trump is your God.
Not
Trump is
true.
God. He's going to be your gay daddy.
When did Trump have the lowest crossings in his administration? Can you tell me which years that were?
It was like, so it was 2017, 18, 19 was a bad year in 2020.
So 2020 is the year that he had the lowest crossings, correct?
Yeah, 2019 was a bad year.
Okay.
But look, Trump is your gay daddy. He's going to be your top, and you're just going to take it. You're going to take that big Trump tower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that is true. Like we're arguing back and forth here. This is like
no, like
this is
there is no
crazy. Like
argument. Stacks,
it's a bloodbath, bro. It's a
stacks. There
House,
is
the
no
Senate,
argument.
the
That we won.
presidency,
We
the
won.
Supreme
They
Court.
lose.
I didn't even think this was possible. This is crazy. I'm kind of scared, to be honest with you. We got the keys to the Ferrari, Kristen.
Oh, we got the keys. We got the keys to be the Fuhrer. We got the keys to be the next, dictator if we want to be. Like, look, we're gonna put people in jail, like Steve Bannon said.
Whoa,
Liz,
whoa, whoa.
we're gonna put people. But look, these people need to go to jail. People like Liz Cheney, people like Adam Kissinger, people like Dick Cheney, people who,
Ooh, they got
pe-
hit with the reverse Uno card.
and these are Republicans. Look, I am not a Republican. I am MAGA. Big difference. I just use their party to get our agenda passed through Congress. And if they don't like it, get off the train. And if you do, you might get run over. Like Rick Scott's going to be our next Senate Majority Leader. It's going to happen. Like I said, we're not the party of being nice like Mitt Romney. We're not going to sit by, let our country be taken over. We're not going to be like John McCain when that woman was talking about, oh, Obama is a communist and a Muslim, and John McCain said, no, he's a fine man. No, we're going to say, no, you're right. He is a fucking communist, and he is a goddamn Marxist Muslim.
Which is just not true at all, by the way.
It is.
It's not.
I don't even know what is his name Barry Santoro or is it Barack Obama?
It's Barack Obama.
Wait, do you realize that they were going to throw Trump in jail for
committing
probably the rest
crimes?
of his life in November when they
For
were going to,
committing
if he would have
crimes?
lost the election? So this
They
is
can do it
crazy.
now, Stacks. They can do it now.
No, they ain't going nowhere.
I mean,
But
I'm just saying they technically could if they wanted to.
so with all these cases, right? They were waiting on him to lose, so they could lock him up forever. Now imagine all the power he has now.
And
You
I think
better hope he doesn't have a vendetta, man, because I don't know how I would feel knowing that you're about to do that to me.
oh, I would do it. Stacks, ain't you glad I'm not the president?
Wait, how would you be mad if you're talking about being the party of law and order or being on the side of law and order, but then completely dodging the accountability of law and order whenever you're granted criminal immunity or
Well,
granted the presidency?
I'm, I'm glad you asked that, right? And I always like to follow that up with, this will be really quick, but how would you personally defend yourself against the E. Jean Carroll case? What would your defense be?
What do you
Remember,
mean?
she didn't give a time, a place, a month when this incident happened in the dressing room. Remember, Trump's an adjudicated rapist because of the E. Jean Carroll case, right? But how do you defend yourself when there's no witnesses and it's just your story with no time? Because,
Stacks, I can remember the time and the date when I lost my virginity. And
well,
if she
I'm
can't
not even
remember the
asking
time,
for it a day. How about a month? She couldn't even give a month.
but that's what I'm saying, Stacks. I can remember the time, the date, the month when I lost my virginity, like 12 years ago, when I was 20 years old.
So when you say law and order, it has to be not a clear-cut case of lawfare, and that's what this case was because there is no defense. There's no lawyer that can successfully defend that claim from E. Jean
Wasn't he
Carroll.
taken to civil court for defaming her?
Of course, that was after the fact, like after they ruled against him for adjudicated
Weren't
rape.
there like 3 processes in the civil court process with the E. Jean Carroll case? I'm pretty sure the first one was regarding the defamation.
Right, he started because of her claims, he started defaming her. But like I mentioned, do you have a example of how he could have defended himself?
Probably not lying about interacting with her and then mixing her up in a court hearing
Look, Jean
with
So
my
Carroll,
that makes him
wife.
a rapist?
No, it's not
look,
that it makes him a rapist, but it makes him responsible for defaming the person that he's saying he doesn't know anything
look,
about, but then obviously does know about her, so.
hold on. Eugene Carroll had a fantasy about having sex with dogs. She had a sexual fetish about
Not
being.
only that, on Facebook, she said her favorite show was The Apprentice. So you're gonna have a favorite show of the person who raped you?
Look, Eugene Carroll loved being raped. Okay, she
Whoa,
fantasized.
whoa, whoa.
No, she literally talked about it on CNN with Anderson Cooper.
Wait,
She
do
was
you
like,
think
Yeah,
people that have
kind of
rape kinks
sexy.
or rape fantasies want to be, like, literally raped? Or
"It's
can
what
you...
she said on. It's what she said on Anderson Cooper." She
Did
But
said,
come
the
out of her
bottom line
mouth.
is
She
the
did
case
say
was
that.
lawfare. There's no way to
It's not
defend
law.
it.
Do you think the January 6th stuff is lawfare?
Wait, I'm talking about E. Jean Carroll. We can
Yeah,
go to
but I
that.
was talking about
Right.
the other cases. You brought up E. Jean Carroll.
Well, that is a case that he was already convicted of,
He
right?
was.
The
I
E.
don't
Jean
even know if he
Carroll
was
case.
convicted in a
Yeah, he was.
civil
It's a
court. You're
civil
being...
suit, but they did it. Well, hold on. Let me
He was
calm down.
held
They did it.
liable.
They did it.
Hold on. January 6th was base. Okay, nothing wrong.
It was
Look,
criminal, and now he's not
look,
facing any prosecution for it because
Look.
he
When
has
you have
criminal immunity.
100,000 white men going into the Capitol and they're angry, that's kind of cool. That's kind of fucking
look.
badass.
E. Jean
That's
Carroll case
that's
was brought for
badass.
one reason, so CNN and all the rest of the Dems, even the politicians, can call him a rapist on the microphone. And that's the only reason why. That's why America's pissed off because we know that's why you did it, not because he's a real rapist, because you wanted to use it for political purposes. And that's what you shouldn't do. Sick Alvin Bragg and Letitia James and all these people on somebody for political
Sure,
purposes.
then let's dismiss that entirely. Let's say that's not even a
But you
point.
can't, though.
But you can, though, and that's why I'm saying we should dismiss that and then go for the January 6th stuff specifically, which he's not able to be prosecuted for anymore. Do you acknowledge that?
Right, but after you do E. Jean Carroll, like the cards are off the table. You've
Absent
already
of E. Jean
weaponized the
Carroll,
justice system.
do you think that it is lawfare to
Well, yeah,
justifiably...
we can go through the Stormy Daniels case one at a time if you want. Do you even know what the 34 felonies were? Like, what's his charge there?
Well, I'm speaking about the January 6th stuff specifically. We can go to
So now we
the...
got two cases that are blatant lawfare: Stormy Daniels and E. Jean Carroll.
Well, the
So
stuff
you're
that I was
saying one
talking
out of
about
four is
specifically
legitimate?
first was the January 6th case. You started bringing up the E. Jean Carroll case, and now you're trying to move over to the Stormy Daniels case. But we can go through the January 6th stuff first, and then move to the Stormy Daniels stuff. Do you think it's lawfare to go after him for the January 6th incident?
Of course.
In what way?
Well, number one, the very first thing I would do as a defense, I would just stand up and have a video recorder and just play the tape of him saying, "We're going to go to the Capitol and we're going to peacefully and patriotically make our voices heard."
Which is
That doesn't
absolute
sound like
bullshit whenever he
that
had...
sounds like ordering a mob to attack. I mean, you have it on video.
Look,
I mean, it
Donald
kind of...
Trump is he's an innocent
He
man.
is not innocent. Anything he does is gonna... He's literally what he said is like absolutely coming true. Where he said he can
Look,
shoot
he
someone
can.
at Fifth Avenue and you
You,
would defend,
he
you would
can.
suck him off. You would let him fucking pound the fuck out of you, and
I
then
sure
still...
would.
Exactly. It's so fucking gross. He's gonna
I
get his
sure
like
would.
McDonald's fucking stomach grease all over you while he's like
I
hitting you
sure
from
would.
behind. It's so fucking gross.
But
And
yeah, that's the
you would
easiest case to win ever. You
It's not
got
the
the man
easiest
on
case to...
video.
It's not the easiest
Yeah,
case.
he's on
It's
gather
video.
absolutely not. That's why he's not
He's
facing any...
saying, "Don't be violent."
You would be so jealous of him, me fucking
So
him.
he has a speech prior to January 6th, whenever he's telling people to go on January 6th because it's going to be a historic event, and then he has Mo Brooks speaking there, asking the crowd if they're willing to sacrifice their lives like the people did in 1776. He has
Absolutely.
Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman proposing their legal theory, quote unquote, for Mike Pence to certify the fake electors
right.
that they intentionally sent to Mike Pence. From
Nothing
7
wrong with
different.
that.
It is absolutely, there is something wrong with it. It violates the ECA, which is.
Look, Donald Trump is my boyfriend. You don't have a boyfriend. I have
Let
a
him finish.
billionaire
Let him finish. Go
husband.
ahead.
Yeah, so you have these people that are intentionally inciting the hateful rhetoric that is bringing them to the Capitol because they think there is election fraud. They think the election is
There was.
stolen. There wasn't. They think that that Mike Pence has the ability to certify fake electors that weren't even actually pushed forward from the states that they're supposedly representing. And then on the day of the January 6th, you have Trump saying to Mike Pence that you can either be a patriot or you can be a pussy. And then now you have court documents testified by Ivanka Trump where Donald Trump is watching on Fox News the insurrection happening on January 6th, and then they get word that Mike Pence is hiding in the bunker because there are people there chanting, "Hang Mike Pence" with a guillotine and signs, and his response is, quote unquote, "So what?"
Well, they should have Mike Pence. He was a traitor.
He's not a traitor, you're just a sycophant.
That's what do you do to traitors?
So, you remember when they surrounded Washington, D.C., or they surrounded the White House, and they had to rush Trump to the bunker, and everybody called him a bunker bitch? Were you one of those people that said, hey, Trump's a bunker bitch? You didn't care then, did you?
No, I never called him that.
That story seems to get lost in history, that they were storming the White House. The only reason why they didn't get in because there was men with guns outside. But it was enough of a danger
You know
where
who's going
the
to be in
Secret
charge?
Service had to whisk Trump away into a bunker.
You know who's going to be in charge of writing new policy? Stephen Miller. So he's going to be your new daddy.
I don't understand how
And they
this.
threw Bannon in prison too, and Bannon's out. Man.
How is this related at all about Trump going to a bunker? How is this related at all to the January 6th?
Well, because like it's like we're supposed to be outraged because Mike Pence went to a bunker, but you wasn't when the Dems wanted to lynch Trump.
You mean whenever the riot that was incited and allowed by Donald Trump was going on and Mike Pence feared for his safety and went to the bunker to hide? Yeah, it's kind of outrageous to have the sitting president that falsely thinks that the election was stolen to incite his crowd that he just spoke to go down to the Capitol building and attempt, quote unquote, to pressure Mike Pence to certify the results of the election.
What percentage of Democrats do you think that thinks this election was stolen right now? If you were to scroll X,
Probably about
probably very few.
20.
Like 80% of like Republicans still think the last election was stolen.
Dissertation on Elon Musk rigging the election.
Do you acknowledge that Kamala Harris and Biden both said and conceded the results of this election?
Yeah, that doesn't mean Democrats doesn't think it was stolen.
It's worlds apart from Donald Trump himself directly claiming that the election was stolen and refusing to concede.
Well, I'll just say this. Trump won, your candidate lost. We win, you lose. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, but the difference is you're not going to see Democrats trying to insurrect the government because they're so ass mad about it.
It's only been a week.
That's because Democrats are weak losers.
No, it's because we actually have standards and we actually appreciate the American system.
That's because all your supporters are women and gays.
Didn't we just go over like
I mean,
the
you're
demographics
demanding
of
a
it?
recount. You're demanding
Who's demanding a
investigations.
recount?
Look, your
It'll be
supporters
in
are
this.
nothing but faggots and black women.
Hey, I don't know if you remember me saying this,
Christian,
but
my boy.
both Kamala and Biden conceded to the results of this election.
Yeah, because they got their ass whooped.
So how are they going to demand a recount?
I never said that.
I feel like Kamala should have won presidency. A recount should happen.
Do you think they stole the election?
Yeah, they
Yes.
stole it like all those.
So
Kamala should have won PA.
So you just want to recount on vibes?
Kamala's a dirty nigga.
Isn't
right?
Jesus Christ? Isn't that what Donald Trump
she
wanted?
wants to steal votes.
No,
Because that's what blacks do.
Right.
All
And
blacks
he
do
didn't
is
get
steal.
it, did he?
Christian, what's your favorite word, bro?
He had 64 contested
My favorite
lawsuits.
word. My
Yeah.
favorite word has to be. I would say the N word. It's fun.
Say it.
You're gonna report my account. I'm not.
I
Gonna
can't report you for something you say.
But I'll just say this: do you think Kamala Harris won the state of Alabama?
Yeah.
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 That didn't sound confident.
She
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
won Alabama.
Come on, Christian. Pop an N word for the one time, bro.
Are you a digger?
Am I what?
All right.
Why do you want me to say the word nigger so bad? Like it's just a fucking word.
Yo,
Like
Christian, what's up, bro? What's up?
nothing much. Nothing much, Mike.
Why'd you kick me last time?
Because you're asking me very sexual questions about my body parts.
Oh my
We love your
god.
body parts.
Do what? You know, gay. You know, Gatherer's gay. He's a good looking guy.
Hey, yeah, I'm gay too.
I let him in my bones.
Hell yeah, bro.
Wait,
I'll let him nut on my face.
Christian,
Well,
so just wonder, like, how are you gay, but you don't like. Wait, never
Gay
mind. We fucking
people.
asked that before.
how am I gay and I don't like what? Kamala Harris because she's a
Like,
dumb
gay people.
black bitch.
Wait, so there's
Yeah.
like, are you gay, but like, you wouldn't date another gay man because you said that you don't like other gay people or something?
Most
Are
gay
you
men.
homophobic?
Most gay. I just use gay men for their penises just to suck them off and leave.
For real, I be doing that too.
Wait a second. So
Hell yeah,
like,
bro. I do that shit like 3 times a day.
Oh,
Only
I know.
3?
so
Yeah,
like,
bro.
do you have a problem with any of us liking women or not?
I
Speak
don't
for
care.
yourself, bud. We don't like women. Yeah, yourself.
Oh,
I fuck guys who are bisexual. I don't care unless the bitch is not involved.
You wouldn't have a threesome with a girl?
Absolutely not. They're annoying.
Christian, have you ever
Sorry.
had a
so
girlfriend
wait,
before?
Christian, are you sexist?
They give awful. They don't know how to give good blowjobs. What guys tell me.
That's
Have you ever
true.
heard of Ash Cass though, bro?
What'd you
I
say,
think I'm gonna
asshole?
leave this space.
What? Okay, have you ever heard of Ash Cass, bro?
What is that?
A bad bitch.
She's like she's really good at it, bro. You should DM her.
Yeah, I'm not interested in getting a blowjob from a woman.
What
Yeah,
about
she's
from
she's like colored too, so
what about Mike? Would you like take one from him?
Yeah.
I don't know what Mike looks like, so
He
Yeah,
looks like
would you
his
take one
profile
from me,
picture. He
Christian?
just has a helmet on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause, cause you know,
Mike's in the
like
NFL.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
right?
That's
Yeah,
cool
you
as
know,
the fuck.
no. Like that's an old picture of him.
Oh, it is.
you could be really ugly for all I know. So
He's
no, I'm
really
not.
hot. Trust me. I've seen him
He's not
before.
ugly. He's not
I'm not
He's
ugly.
ugly,
got
bro.
big voluptuous lips. He'd suck your shit
Yeah.
so good.
Does he have a big schlong?
Yeah, I
Yes,
do, bro. It's really
insane,
big.
but
How
not
old
too
are
big.
you?
Um,
Okay. I'm gonna write down some notes about what I need to research on the probably immigration as a whole. Let's scoot this down. Let's do asylum seekers percentage and what else? Process, I guess. Immigration rates from Obama to Trump to Biden. Title 42 legalities and executive orders as a whole. What else? distinguishing between categories of illegals, or I should say immigrants, actually, because I don't know what the difference technically is between illegal immigrants, undocumented, non-citizens, non-citizens, illegals, undocumented, asylees, etc. Wage effects from immigrants. Economic impacts from immigrants to the general society. Because from my understanding and stuff that I've read in the past, and this article that I just pulled up a little bit ago, is that they're a boom on the economy. So, where is it? More than a third of the tax dollars paid by undocumented immigrants go toward payroll taxes dedicated to funding programs that these workers are barred from accessing. Undocumented immigrants paid $25.7 billion in Social Security taxes. Here, give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so where is it? They also pay $6.4 billion in Medicare taxes and $1.8 billion in unemployment insurance taxes. Where is it? Income tax payments by undocumented immigrants are affected by laws that require them to pay more than otherwise similarly stated or situated U.S. citizens. Undocumented immigrants are often barred from receiving meaningful tax credits and sometimes do not claim refunds they are owed due to lack of awareness, concern about their immigration status, or insufficient access to tax preparation assistance. In a large majority of the states, in parentheses 40, undocumented immigrants pay higher state tax and local tax rates than the top 1% of households living within the borders. Yeah, so it's like they pay a fuck ton into the economy, and it seems like even if that is the case, that wages are decreased, which it only seems like it's decreased from what I've seen. That's why I'm writing everything down here. I think it's like 0.3% of a decrease, which is not much at all. But it's also stimulation to the economy, massive stimulation that they don't even see returns or benefits from, either, like it said, due to lack of awareness or fears or concerns about being deported or any other legal status that could be potentially fucked with, and because they're just general inability to access those funds. So it's like they're paying literally billions of dollars, even in some cases more than our normal citizens, and they're not even getting assistance in that way. But again, the same people that complain about it are the people that live and mooch off the government. Like it's yeah. What is a sanctuary city? And what does it do? Maybe Trump versus Biden tax policy. Not tax policy, border policy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just they contribute so much. And if they did receive shit for it, I wouldn't be mad because it's a fuck ton of money that they don't get. What else do they claim? Maybe Trump bunker story. Initial thought is that it is bad, but not, I'll put that in caps, not encouraged or endorsed by political officials for a electoral process, which is kind of the biggest deal with January 6th, is that it's for the fucking president. And the other one, from my understanding, was not about the president. It's also, they lose any sort of virtue signaling or like high ground or whatever moral superiority that they want to cling on to whenever they talk about this bunker like shit. Especially after the Paul Pelosi story that came out and they just defended by saying it was actually his gay lover or whatever. So tax, maybe how much of the federal budget is designated to immigrants. I'm trying to think of what else we even talked about. E. Jean Carroll case, standard of evidence in New York, statute of limitations, laws, evidence presented in trial, and jury verdict, I guess. Stormy Daniels. So from my understanding of the E. Jean Carroll stuff, it seems like it's kind of iffy on the evidence. However, I think they had, I don't remember the stuff with the dress specifically. I know they had corroboration from E. Jean's friends during the time that were contacting or had some sort of contact that matched up with E. Jean Carroll's claims from that time. But I think the biggest thing that was he was held liable for and had to pay out for were the was the defamation. Like him knowingly lying and saying he didn't even know who she was. And then when he's asked to look at a photo of her when him and his wife are meeting her and her husband, like in the 90s or something like that, he said that he wouldn't have raped her because she's not his type, quote unquote. And then he mixes her up with the photo of his wife, and it's like, I thought she wasn't your type. She looks the exact same as your wife. So I don't know. I heard she didn't even present that case until like much later though, because of the New York statute of limitations law. It was extended to where her case fell within the boundaries of whenever she was actually able to bring that back up in court. Even though it wasn't even like it was a civil trial. It wasn't like a criminal trial either. Yeah, I need to look at the evidence presented so I have a stronger case. The Stormy Daniels thing, from my understanding, that's the reason he has these 34 charges or felonies or whatever, is because he was paying off this porn star that he slept with, but he was essentially funneling the money to his lawyer as a retainer fee, to his private lawyer, but I think he was using campaign funds, or I don't remember exactly, but funneling funds through the private lawyer as a quote-unquote retainer fee that he never previously paid for or something. Again, I don't know. I'll look at the details so I can have a stronger case on that. I don't even know if it matters that much. That's what's so blackpilling about talking to people like this is like, oh yeah, I do want him as a dictator. I do want the Senate. I do want the House. I do want the entirety of Congress. I do want the Supreme Court. I like, you lost. Okay. Like, obviously it's not good or preferable or whatever. But to cry about Democrats for the past several years and try to insurrect the government and then when Kamala says that she'll put forward legitimate Republicans at her table to get a diversity of input, that's not good enough. Because what you literally mean is that you want the entirety of people that you work with as your yes men. Like, how do you... If that was the Democrats, imagine. I don't know. I'll add that too. That's what's... I need to order laws pertaining to asylum seekers. From the... Because from my understanding, there were these two pieces of legislation that were enacted in the 60s that require the United States to bring in asylum seekers and go through their court case. So whenever he's talking about the border bill not being good because it allows like this limit, this cap of illegal immigrants coming in, or illegal immigrants, like once it reaches that point on an average basis over a week span, you shut the border down entirely until that threshold reaches below the 75%, in which case you can allow immigration to continue coming forward. But previously to that, there was no limit. And whenever there's a proposition on the table for there to be genuine change that everybody is wanting, even the person who wrote the bill that was supported by both sides was endorsed by Trump. But Trump told them to shoot it down so that he can run on it for the election. I don't know. I have some stuff written down that I'm probably going to try and look into. But for now, I'm going to hop off. Thanks for watching. And thanks for helping me with my lighting stuff. I'll probably try and fuck around with that later on and either do some more research stuff or debates or I don't know, maybe actual videos or something.